Australia doesn't care about your paper degree.
I know that tech is like a big umbrella. Which of the specialties do you think is high demand here in Australia?
Like 1,500 per day to work
Wow.
on that technology.
You get paid time off, like annual leave.
People will give you 6 weeks.
What website do you use in looking for a job?
Finish my task in about an hour or 2 hours, and then the rest of the day is like just yeah. It's just nothing. Nothing is just. I used to be a teacher in China. Worked in a warehouse to start with.
Wait,
Yeah.
how did you switch? Like teaching and tech? How? Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. This is Theo, and today we have an amazing guest. He's here in Australia. I will let him introduce himself, don't worry. I messaged him because I realized that most nurses are looking for a way to move out of nursing career, and basically most people are interested in tech. And personally, for me, I don't have so much idea on tech, but I decided to message him and let him know about it, and he was happy to do this video with me. So you guys are going to benefit a lot, and please leave your comments under the comment section. I will be happy to help as much as we can. So Anthony,
So
introduce
my name
yourself.
is Anthony, and
Yeah.
I live in Melbourne, Australia. I work as an IT professional in basically Melbourne CBD, and I've been working in IT for about 2 years now. Yeah. Before that, I used to be a teacher in China, but I decided I wanted to transition.
Wait,
Yeah.
how did you switch? Like teaching and tech? How?
It doesn't have any correlation. So
At all?
I was a teacher, but I came to Australia and I just realized I can't handle Australian kids. So I
Make you
thought it
don't
was
beat
time
them,
for,
Abby.
yeah, I don't have the patience to deal
No,
with
but
the
that's
kids. So
good.
yeah, I decided I wanted to do something different, and I just realized I'm someone that's curious and I like learning new things, and I thought IT would be a good fit for me or working in tech, and I went for it, and yeah, I ended up working in tech eventually in Australia.
Oh, but you are just the perfect person for this video because initially you did not have any background in tech and you're able to
Uh,
scale through. So, I mean, that's where majority of my audience will be. So, good.
mhm.
Wait, are you from Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm from Nigeria.
Just to get that out of the way. Okay. So, how, like, from your experience, how did you break into tech as per? If you're teaching, then your
Yeah,
BSc would not be in tech from beginning. So, how did you
no,
start your career in tech?
yeah, yeah. So my BSc was in education, and when I arrived in Australia, I started my first job wasn't great. Like I worked in a warehouse to start with. Asked myself, is this what I'm going to be doing, for the rest of my life? I was like, nah, I have to, buckle up and learn a skill. So I went on the internet and then tried to research different tech roles. And I found out that to work in tech, you don't actually have to be a coder. You don't have to know how to code. There's so many roles and careers in IT or tech. It's one of the largest industries. Like you could put two different tech professionals together and they could know nothing about what the other person does. It's that huge. So yeah, I did research and I found out that there are some roles that are more entry level friendly, and I ended up going with web development. So when I settled with a career, I then had to research what do I have to learn in order to end up working as a web developer. So I found that I had to learn technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and that kind of stuff. So it's like a trickle down effect. You first ask yourself, okay, what do you want to do? Is it web development? Is it being a project manager? Then you ask yourself, okay, what do you need to learn in order to get to that goal? And after you learn all that stuff, it will take you, for me, it took me about 7 months. And yeah, I'll actually get to how I learned all of that. It took me 7 months of learning on YouTube, and I bought a course on Udemy for about $70. It was a full web development bootcamp online. And I would say to people who are thinking of going through the self-taught route to be careful, because when you're doing that, there are going to be people that would like to get you into, go do a TAFE or do a in-person boot camp. So because I was a bit desperate, I was scrambling, trying to find a way to learn this skill, and I stumbled across different in-person boot camps that cost a lot of money. So one of them quoted me $20,000, and yeah, I asked myself, $20,000. I don't have that money cash, and even if I did, that's a lot of money to just put down on something I don't know if it's going to work. And I had a friend in the US that he was more like a mentor to me. He's been working in IT for a long time. He's a software developer at TikTok, and at the time I told him, I want to work in IT. I don't know where to start, and he basically just helped me. He told me what to study. He told me I can learn things on my own. I don't have to spend $20,000 to learn it. So I just
Mm.
decided to create a plan for myself, learn all those technologies, do hands-on projects, because that's another important part. It's not just sitting through the videos and just watching the courses. You also have to get hands-on, build projects, like build a website for someone that needs a website for their business. It will give you that experience, and also you're also contributing to someone else's business. So building all those projects, learning all the important technologies. Yeah, it takes time, but eventually you get there. So I did that for about 7 months. Then it came to applying for jobs. To
I
be
think that's the
honest,
most difficult part.
that's the most difficult part. So applying for jobs is harder than learning tech because in theory I knew all these things. I knew how to build a website. I can connect the front end to the back end. Then applying for jobs, I learned firsthand that Australia doesn't care about your paper degree or whatever you studied.
Mm,
They only care about your experience.
yeah.
So the only time your paper degree will matter is if you went to Harvard or Stanford. Like if you went to one of those Ivy League schools, that's the only time people will care about your degree. But if you
Mm.
went to average university and you don't have any experience, no one will really care. So that was why I had the toughest time applying for jobs without any experience. Even though, yes, I built some hands-on projects, found it really hard to get anything. That was where my mates helped as well, because my friend in the US, he had his own kind of startup, like a very small company. He was
Mm.
building like an application for people to learn Chinese language. So I helped him to build that out, and I put that in my resume. And it took me another 7 months of applying before I got my first job.
God.
So definitely wasn't easy. Like from starting to learn it to actually getting a job took like a year and a few months. So yeah, it's not something you just start today and then you know
Mm.
end up there, because you have to first get those skills, get the experience, and you need to pass the interview, because the interview is pretty tough. I had like 4 rounds of interviews. They will ask you technical questions. It's not something you can just lie your way into. Like they're still going to test you to see if you got the stuff, if you have the experience they're looking for. So yeah, that's been my journey from being a teacher to currently working in technology.
So do you
Yeah,
have like a graduate certificate or just the
no,
self-taught? No graduate
I'm
certificate.
entirely self-taught. The only certificate I have is from CompTIA. So CompTIA, they are an IT certifications vendor. They basically grade your knowledge about certain IT topics, and the current certificate I have is for cybersecurity. So I had to go to an examination center, sit down, take the exam. It took me like it was an hour and 30 minutes. And after that, I passed the exam and they gave me the certificate. So there are different pathways people can use. You can choose to go to uni, get a TAFE, or you can get very specific certifications for what you want to work with. So IT is really broad. Like if you want to be a cybersecurity professional, if you want to be a cloud engineer, if you want to be a software engineer, if you want to be a systems engineer, there are different certifications you can take to validate those skills. But if you go to a university and get a IT, bachelor's, or they're not going to teach you very specific skills. So
Mm.
an employer will see your diploma in IT versus someone that did a security plus from CompTIA. They would rather take the person that has very specialized certifications over someone that has like a general, IT, degree from university plus your experience. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. I mean, because most people feel like you need to go and get a master's in this, get the
Mm.
like. That's what most people always think, that before you can get a tech role, you need to have a master's or BSc or at most a graduate certificate at least. But it's good
No,
you
no.
work your way in like that.
Yeah, you can do that. Like for me, I feel later down in my career, I might get a master's, but I'm not
Yeah.
getting it because I want to it will get me a job. It will just, maybe validate my skills or just touch up my resume, give me more accolades. So if I want to apply for better jobs, it might help me. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that it will help me at all, because I know a lot of high earners that don't have masters or even a bachelor's. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, what website do you use in looking for a job?
Every single job I've had in Australia has come from Seek. I've
Are
had
you
like,
seeking
I think
out?
I've
I
worked
swear.
for, yeah. I've worked for about 4 different companies since I started working in tech, and all of them have come from Seek. Yeah.
So, what tips
Yeah.
would you give someone that is currently job hunting? Maybe they've done like self-taught, or they've done a graduate certificate, or they have just tech
Mhm.
background, or they can't find a job, especially here in Australia. What kind of tip
Okay.
do you helped you to
So
get your job?
there's I'll say it's a gate kept secret. Like, people won't tell you this easily, but I'll just share it because why not? Just applying for a job, clicking the submit button will not get you a job. I've applied for lots of jobs. I've never gotten a single job by just clicking apply. Every single job I've gotten was from applying and reaching out to someone within the company. That, I don't know if people I don't know if everyone knows that, but it's definitely something I do, and that has gotten me jobs like most of the time. So whenever I apply, I do a bit of investigation. I become like a detective. I try to find someone, the HR person in that organization. Could be through LinkedIn. Sometimes I've even guessed someone's email. Like, I put their first name and last
And
name
last name, I
at
just would add.
thecompany.com.au, and it sent the email, and that has actually gotten me somewhere.
I
So, because a lot of things about this company is they create the job the job placements, and 100 200 people apply. The person wouldn't have the time to look at everyone's resume, and you also have AI filtering people out. So yeah, you just have all these barriers to entry, and if you're not going and doing an extra step that separates you from the crowd, you just get filtered out. That's why I feel like a lot of reasons people might not be finding the jobs they want, because they just hit apply and then they hope the company gets back to them. But the thing is, you're automatically getting filtered out by AI. So I'd say, if you're trying to find a job, yes, apply on Seek, Indeed, or LinkedIn. I've never gotten a job on LinkedIn, but you could try LinkedIn. And then try to reach out to someone within that organization. And if that company really wants someone, and you have the stuff, you have the experience, you have the knowledge, they will reach out to you. That's my advice to people. Yeah.
So you mentioned something like you're not looking forward to getting your master's now. Is it that
Yeah.
there's no career progression? Because I don't know for tech, but in nursing, like the higher your degrees, the more you can progress in your career. Is it that there's no like straightforward career progression in tech, or how is it like?
Tech is it's a very experience based and specialty based industry. So just getting a master's guarantees you zilch, nothing. Like, if you get a master's and you hope that someone will give you a job in something, you're dead wrong. It's not going to happen. If you want to progress your career in IT, you need to find a very specific niche or specialty and get very good at it, get certifications in that specialty, and then just start applying for jobs in that specific specialty. I'll give you an example of one of my friend. I hope he doesn't see this video. I don't know if he
Yeah.
wants me to talk about his his life story, but he has been in Australia for a long time. He's been working in IT for a very long time, and yeah, he started. He came to Australia, did his bachelor's in IT. He doesn't have a master's. He has an MBA. It doesn't have anything to do with tech. So after working in IT for a few years, I think about 10 years, he then came across a specialty. It's a technology that most people don't even know about. And he learned that technology very well. And at the end of the day, this went from working full time, your normal 9 to 5 full time job, to being a contractor, an independent contractor for that technology. So companies will get him to work on that technology, and they pay him a daily rate. Guess how much they pay him daily rates?
I can't guess.
So they pay him about like 1,500 per day to work
Wow.
on that technology. And imagine he has like 2 3 clients paying him the same thing to work on that per day. He makes a lot of money. I don't even know how much, but yeah, well, it is a ton of money. So if you want to make a lot of money in IT, I would say get a specialty, get very good at it, and then you can start contracting working for companies, and that's how you make money, not by just doing a master's and then hoping that someone will promote you to, earn more money. That's not really how it works in IT, in my experience. Unless you want to go work with Google, I think they have their own system, their own internal system where they progress you up the corporate ladder. You go from level 1, level 2, level 3, software engineer. But if you're not working for those big four, those top tech companies, you just need to specialize in something niche, get very good at it, and then you can just start, contracting for clients. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like me hearing their mouth now, I feel like I'm in the wrong profession.
Yeah, people are making mad amounts of money in IT. It's crazy.
I know that tech is like a big umbrella. Which of the specialties do you think is high demand here in Australia and that pays good money? That's also easy to break into and for people to try.
I don't think there's one thing that I would say is the best thing that you can go into and will guarantee you a lot of money. I'd say if you want to make a lot of money working in IT, just first start with something. Get into IT. Just try test waters and get your foot in the water, get your hands dirty, get hands on. And I'll use myself as an example. I started as a web developer. Then my next role, I went in as an ICT developer. Before that, I didn't even know what an ICT developer was. So I clearly don't know everything about everything. I think most IT people don't even know everything about everything because the industry is really large. But I'd say just get in first, find what excites you. I think whatever thing you get into, you can make money. Yeah, I don't think there's one thing. I won't tell you that there's one thing that guarantees you will make a lot of money. I would say whatever you do, contracting, like if you just want to make a lot of money, you just have to go contracting because think about it, a company wouldn't want to pay you $300,000 for for your services. But if you're offering that services as a contractor, you make your own rates and then they pay you that rate. But if you're going into a company that's not a billion-dollar company or million-dollar company, they will just pay you a fixed rate and it will just end there. And if you want to progress, you might have to pick up new skills, get more specialized in a certain technology, and then maybe you might earn more money. But yeah, if you want to make a lot of money, I would say contracting is probably the best way, the way to go. Whatever it is, if you're a project manager, software developer, cybersecurity professional. Cybersecurity is something different. That's a different beast on its own. Yes, cybersecurity is a bit harder to get into because you need to be a citizen, and you
Really?
need to, you need a security clearance.
So what if you're a permanent resident?
You won't work. You need a security clearance
No
for
hope.
cybersecurity. Or were you thinking of going cybersecurity?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think I have that brain to do anything there.
That's why cybersecurity is a tough one. But yeah, if you want to make a lot of money, I think contracting is the way. And whatever IT career you'll make a lot of money with years of experience. Yeah.
Anthony, you have a YouTube channel. Can you?
You I haven't posted anything in a long time.
I know, but why? Do you know? Let me be honest. Do you know that I found you on YouTube? That was the first place I found you.
Oh, really?
Before I followed you on Instagram. Because my husband is also into tech. But yeah, so I found you first on YouTube. And I was like, why are you not making more videos? You should be making more videos. Like, I believe there are lots of people that will benefit from your videos, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to make a lot of videos in China, but I came to Australia and I don't know. I just lost the motivation to make more videos.
It's actually hard, to be honest, but I feel like I didn't see a lot of people talking about tech in Australia, and when I found it, I was so happy. So I feel like if you can, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your YouTube name for people that don't know? I'll put it on the box as well.
I think right now it's Discover Oz. So
I've
changed it. I've changed it so many times.
Okay, so no worries. I'm gonna put in the comment section.
Discover Oz. Yeah, Discover.
But please try and be posted. I think you posted last month. I think I saw your video. You posted last month.
No,
or
4 months more than that. It's been a while. I'll check, but it's been a long time.
So I see you travel a lot. Okay, so what's the like?
Not as much as you.
No, me, I've not traveled in a while. Like, what's the work-life balance? Because I know people want to make money, they want to work, but they also want to like have that work-life balance. So how is it like in tech?
It depends the job you're doing. So my previous job, the job I just left, I had a 1 year contract with an organization that was completely remote. I only went into the office about twice. And yeah, the other time I was working from home the whole time, and it was a pretty relaxed place to work. I didn't have anyone micromanaging me and checking, if I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. As long as I finished the task, that was it. Like I could wake up one day and finish my task in about an hour or 2 hours, and then the rest of the day is like just yeah, it's just nothing. Nothing is just going on. So it definitely depends the kind of job you have and the organization you're working with. So mine was really relaxed, and I could just get up and go to Brisbane or Sydney and just work from there,
Ah,
and nothing will happen. Yeah. So it definitely just depends on the organization and the work you're doing. Yeah.
that's
But
actually
my current one is more hands-on, so I'm more on site. I go to places physically. I still work from home a bit, but this one is not as relaxed or flexible as the other one I had. Yeah, yeah.
that you get paid time off, like annual leave,
Oh,
paternity
definitely.
leave, maternity. Do you get all that?
Yeah, yeah. In Australia,
Oh,
I
that's
think it's
good.
standard.
So
Yeah,
it's like mandatory even when you're working from home, like tech rules.
yeah, yeah. Isn't that the standard for Australia?
No,
I
I
think.
don't know if if like if you're a contractor or if you work as in
Oh,
private
as
or
a contractor, nah, contractors don't get that. So
okay,
that's one
but
of the
if you
disadvantage
work
of being
in
a contractor.
okay, but if you work in like private, what if you are employed by private organization? Do you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that?
you get that. Yeah, you have to
Okay,
read your work
that's good.
contract, obviously, but yeah, most people will give you that pay time off. Yeah.
Like how many weeks? Is it up to 4 weeks?
The standard is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some
Good.
people will give you 6 weeks. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ha. Hmm.
You have to love that about Australia. I think most countries like the US, they don't get that.
No.
That's one of the advantages of working in Australia. Yeah, yeah,
Like before I forget, I want to ask a question. So
yeah.
if people want to get like courses, what kind of you said you use Udemy and you did like
Mm,
self-taught. Which website can they go to get courses that you advise them to do? Or
mm.
can they just use TAFE or like what's your advice?
I would advise them to use Udemy. There's
Mm-hmm.
also Coursera. Coursera also provides
Yeah.
good courses, but it would definitely depend on what they want to study. If they want to do the web development, I have a particular course I can recommend. Very good. It's by a guy called Code Steele. I did his bootcamp, online bootcamp, and that's what basically taught me everything I needed to know to be a web developer. So yeah, definitely going to depend what you want to learn. If you want to work as a cybersecurity professional, I think Coursera also offers a good course that you can do on Coursera, and you can basically get the same thing on both platforms. The
Both of
reason
them
why,
have similar courses.
yeah, Coursera and yeah, basically the same. The reason why I recommend those paid platforms over YouTube, because nothing good comes free. Like you're not going to get the same quality on YouTube compared to Udemy. Those people will pour out more of their blood, sweat, and tears because they know you're going to pay for it compared to YouTube. YouTube will just give you like a fresher, like a starting base, but they wouldn't go very deep as much as what you get in Udemy or Coursera.
Yeah, and they won't give you
Yeah.
certificate in YouTube as well.
Those certificates don't matter actually. A certificate from Udemy doesn't mean anything.
Really? Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't.
Like
It
I mean, you've
doesn't mean
said
anything.
before, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The certificate I'm talking about is very specialized vendors like CompTIA or Microsoft or Oracle. Like that particular technology you're trying to learn, if you get
Mm.
it from the technology person themselves, those are the certificates that people will look at. Getting something from Udemy or Coursera won't get you anything. They don't really recognize it because you didn't take any exam afterwards. Yeah, if
Oh,
you do the course on Udemy, there's no formal exam. But if you take an exam to become an AWS cloud engineer, you have to take an exam to get that certification. And that's why people recognize them.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Do you have any other thing you want to add? Like maybe a question I didn't ask you that you think will be beneficial to the audience?
But I think you wanted to ask me salary range. So
Oh yeah.
I'll
I
be
mean you
honest.
already touched on your friend any like 1.5 per day, but I believe
Yeah.
that's not the like average for
No,
people.
he's been working in IT for like 20 years. So that's
Jesus.
not something you start out with. So
Okay, so yeah.
if you're starting out, me personally, my first tech job in Australia didn't pay well. It was about 66,000
Make
Australian
it good.
dollars.
How can you
So
survive on that?
it wasn't a lot. I didn't work there for a long time, but I needed to get that experience. So
Yes,
I did
very
that. I
important.
did that for 5 months, and then I jabbed out. And then I ran away because I knew I couldn't survive with that. But I needed to get that on my resume. And then my
Yeah.
next one was a huge jump. It was pretty much 6 figures. So I needed to suffer for a bit for 5 months to get that experience, have that on my resume to propel myself to the next thing. So working in IT, if you're starting now, you might have to make the choice of working for a low salary but getting experience for a very short time, for months, and then your next thing will be something a lot better. So that was what I did. The salary range would start from, I say most people, like 80K to the mid the 100,000s and beyond. I don't think there's any limit to how much you can make in IT. Just depends on what you're specializing in and if it's in demand at that time, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't have any other thing to ask, so
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'll listen to what you say and I'll try to make more YouTube videos. I don't know.
You should. Oh, you're making too much money from tech now. You don't need YouTube check anymore.
It's not like that though. I have like 2,000 subscribers, but I don't know. I'll try to get back on the grind. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let us know in the comment if you have anything he's going to answer. And please go subscribe to his channel, okay? Thank you, guys, and see you guys later.
See ya.